mandate. The mandate is increasing capacity. Are you hearing me? Increasing capacity. It's called the Mandate 2021. And that mandate is called increasing capacity. There are 3 dimensions of increase that we're expecting this year. Number 1 is numerical increase. Number 2 is spiritual increase. Number 3 is financial increase. Numerical increase because the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 3 verse 6 said, I planted, Apollos watered, and God giveth increase. I planted, Apollos watered, but God giveth increase. It means there are 3 men that are dimensionally involved in mandate number 1. Someone must be planting, that's number 1. Someone must be watering, that's number 2. Someone must be providing increase, that's number 3. Are you with me? Shall I come back? Huh? I should return. Did you miss anything? Where did you miss? I said there are 3 personalities that are involved in increasing capacity. Number 1, what is numerical increase. Number 1, someone must be planting. Another, number 2, must be watering. And another, number 3, must be giving increase. So shall I break it down now? It's your responsibility as the first partaker of the fruit of the calling of the set man to be a planter. If what you have seen here, what you have received here has profit you, then you should be a planter. Somebody say here. Say, I am a planter. Say, if what the life should increase, is my responsibility. Let's look at scriptures. John chapter 1. I'm talking about numerical increase now, and I'm dealing with the number 1 personality, the planter. Is that? The planter. John chapter 1. Whenever a mandate John chapter 1 verse 40, we are looking at the life of the planter. One of the 2 which had Jesus spake and followed him was Andrew, Simon Peter's brother. Go on. And he first findeth his own brother, Simon, and said unto him, we have found the Messiah, which is being interpreted the Christ. Go on. And he brought him to Jesus. And when Jesus beheld him, he said, Thou art Simon, the son of Jonah, thou shalt be called Cephas, which is by interpretation, stone. He first of all found his brother. He spoke with the brother. He told the brother to follow him. Then the brother left whatever he was doing and followed him. After he had followed him, he had seen some things. He located his brother Simon and said, Come, for I have found the Messiah. It was not Jesus that found him. It was his brother that found him. You see, no matter how powerful the vision of a man is, no matter how powerful the mandate of a man is, it will end on the laps of inactive members. Inactive members are members that love the euphoria, love the place, love everything. They have nobody to invite. Somebody said here, say, that is not me. You didn't say it well. You didn't say it as if you mean it. You are not saying it loud. So, inactive members will never tell anybody where they belong. And they will never invite anybody to where they belong. Listen to me. There is no church that grew because the man of God announced himself. In Matthew chapter 4, he said his fame went abroad. Somebody took his fame. Not because he got there, but somebody that met him took him there. Are you with me? So, God's mandate for 2021 is to increase capacity. And number one is to increase us numerically. And under number one, he must work with three people. The planter, the waterer, and the one that gives increase. So, of a planter, a duty planter number one is to find seed. Is to find seed. Come, I have found the Messiah. He turns every man to seed. He turns every man to seed. He turns every man to seed. Come, I have found the Messiah. Come, I have found whom the Lord has spoken about. Come, I have found the Messiah. He turns every man to seed. So, this period, everyone around you must be a seed. What does a planter do? He takes a seed to the field. He doesn't only find. He takes a seed to the field. That's number two. He takes a seed to the field. He takes a seed to the field. Who have you found? Take him to this field. Who have you found? Take him to the field. Who have you found? Take him to the field. Number three, what does a planter do? He plants the seed that he has taken to the field. He plants the seed that he has taken to the field. Everyone seated here, you have a capacity of 100 people in 1 year behind you. You have the capacity. It's you that didn't know. We have how many months to complete 1 year? 8 months. Huh? We have 8 months. We just entered the 5th month. So if you start work today, you have 8 months. 7 or 8. How do you count? If you start work on the 5th month, when do you end it? December. When do you end it? December, is that? So should I count? May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. How many did you count? That's why we're launching it today, first Sunday. Are you with me? So a planter looks for the seed. A planter brings the seed to the field. A planter plants the seed. Plant the seed. So you have the capacity to look. You have the capacity to find. You have the capacity to plant. That is what a planter does. He plants the seed and ensure that the seed, number 4, grows. He plants the seed and ensure that the seed grows. He ensures that the seed grows. He ensures that the seed grows. Now, number 2 is the waterer. Is the waterer. The waterer carries a watering can. First of all, he locates where there is water. First, the waterer locates where there is water. Number 2, carries a watering can to fetch. Number 3, ensures that he waters the plant. While he's watering the plant, the planter is watching the plant. Can I do something now? 2 of you come. Just go far. I am the waterer, because the waterer is the pastor. Are you with me? The waterer is the pastor. This is the field. The field is called Water Life. So I found him. I found him. So he became my plantation. And there is need for him to produce also after his kind. So he goes out. Locate him and bring him. He brings him. Don't we have another camera? Please pick what I'm doing. Pick what I'm doing. He brings him. When he brings him, I have found a source with my jerry can. I have fetched the water. I have holding a jerry can of water with me. So I water him while he watches him. He didn't bring him and service closes. He goes. Allow him to go now. Service has gone. We're on a Wednesday service. He goes again. What is he trying to do? To ensure that he's planted, he brings him again. Sometimes he may drag his feet. Sometimes he may even make him late. Sometimes he may cost him some money. Sometimes he may even cost him some energy. Sometimes he may cost him insult. That your church self now do the closely. That your church self now do this. Now, he is planting good seed. Tares are coming out. Now, the responsibility of the planter is to remove the tares. Somebody is trying to whisper to him, you to come this church. What did they do for this church? Then he is telling, oh boy, how was today's message? He said, your pastor preach. Because he may not understand. He may not even know what the pastor said. But he will now be the interpreter and the mouthpiece of the pastor. All in a bid to plant him. Most of the times when you plant seed, grass come also. Do you watch the grass to overtake the seed? You remove the grass. You weed the grass. All in a bid to save the seed. Sometimes you don't even need a hoe. Why? Because maybe if you use the hoe, you may even pull the seed. So you leave the hoe, you use your hand and begin to pick. When you have separate the growing plant with the grass, you will now use the hoe and weed the other side. All in a bid to save the plant. So many a times, we just invite them to church. We bring them to church and we leave them. Whatever that happened to them, we don't care anymore. But no one can be planted until there is somebody watching over him. No one can be planted until somebody is doing an extra work. That's why some people I had to call them yesterday. I had to give them an appointment. Some people I had to make calls. Some people have been here, but so I had to follow up. I have to call. Somebody must be watching over somebody. So you bring him. I water. He lives again. You go after him again. You bring him. See, the Bible says a rolling stone does not gather moist. There is no how a blessing can be complete without being planted. You see, there are people that if you don't plant, see, nobody grows until it's planted. Nobody. Nobody grows until it's planted. Do you notice every movement he moves, he has disconnected? Every movement he moves, he has disconnected. Every movement he moves, he has disconnected. So when he comes back, you try to see if you can dig deeper. When he returns, you try to see if you can push him more deeper than where you are putting before. Now, suddenly, he moves again after watering. This time, don't allow him to go too far. Run after him. He brings him back. Where does he belong? He belongs in the choir. He's planted there. So he starts talking him. Then suddenly, he makes him to sit where he sits. At this point, he's no longer a seed. He's now a plant. While he grows, suddenly there is a shoot coming out of him. Instead of a tree straight, he's having a shoot. So he goes, also he needs to get a branch. Because branch are the ones that produce fruit. Fruit are not produced from a tree. They are produced from a branch. If you don't have a branch, then you cannot have a fruit. And if you don't have a fruit, then you cannot have a reward. Most of the times we feel that we are serving God, God is not looking at our direction. It's because we have not produced a branch where fruit will come out from. Fruit is not actually in a tree. That I am planted, thank God. But the issue is that I am not productive. That's why when he saw the tree that has good leaves in Mark chapter 11 and saw the tree that has good branch and never had fruit, he now asked him, what are you doing here? They're just occupying space. He said, from today, no man will eat of you. And the fruit, the tree, dry. So that another fruitful seed can be planted. Now, he's planted. I get Solomon, my son, the usher. So he wants to produce fruit. His aim is to produce fruit. But he cannot produce fruit until he gets a branch. So he brings a branch. Then I carry my jerrycan, sit down. Then I water him. Remember, every watering I give to him, he's receiving double watering. So he's getting more fresher. He's growing more bigger. And is flourishing. They that are planted in the house of the Lord, they shall be like palm trees. And they shall flourish in the court of our God. So he's flourishing. So Solo goes again. He runs after Solomon. He brings him back. Something is going on with Solo. He tells Solo, if you continue to remain, my God will favor you. My God will do this. My God will do that. What he's doing is to ensure that he plants him. Solo goes again. He runs after Solo. Then we continue watering. We continue watering. We continue watering. We continue watering. Then Solo wants to go. Go after him quick. He catches him. And this time around, he tells him, sit down. at this point, every branch is connected to the tree, true or false? Every branch is connected to the tree. So what happens? Every blessing he gets translates and goes straight to Solo. So Solo profits from his blessing because he brought Solo. Then once he's looking for fruit, there's a reward of being a tree. The fruit comes from Solo. Every achievement that Solo gets, return back to him as a reward. Return back to him as a reward. Because the fruit cannot stand on its own without a branch. And the reason why he needed a branch is because he wants to produce fruit. So the fruit is produced on a branch. And when he needs fruit, all he needs to do, go to the branch and cut. So every investment he has invested in Solo becomes the fruit of his labor. And the fruit of his reward. Sit down. So you see, soul winning gives you an opportunity to enjoy the fruit of your labor. And the fruit of your labor can only be produced in a branch. It cannot be produced in a tree. That's why when you stay serving him as a person, as an entity, there is no reward for it. Because you are not producing fruit. You are just occupying space. I'm going to church. Sit down. I'm going to church. I'm going to church. I'm going to church. Why are you going to church? We've been feeding you for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Nothing. 6 years, nothing. 7 years, nothing. It's a waste of resources. It's a waste of resources. That you didn't bring anybody to church. That God didn't use you to. That's the reason why what you are praying for is actually supposed to come as a reward. See, the problem we have is that we turn everything to prayer. There are things that don't come as answers to prayer. They come as a reward to labor. Let me round up like this. Imagine a mango tree praying for fruit. Mango tree praying for fruit. All he needs to do is to produce a branch. Once he produces a branch, the fruit will come out of the branch. Have you ever seen a mango producing fruit on the body of the tree? They call it trunk. A trunk. The entire trunk. Does it produce fruit there? It doesn't. Even guava needs a shoot of a branch to produce the guava under the shoot of that branch. Guava does not just produce on the body. It produces on the shoot of the branch. Did you notice it? Sometimes the shoot may fall off, but that is his own intention, is to produce fruit. God will not do some things for you until you produce branch. There are some reward that can never come. Those reward comes as a result of producing branch. And you can If you are not planted, you can never plant anybody. You can't produce branch if you are not planted. So in farming, like some farmlands, how you produce seedlings is that you cut off a branch, you take it somewhere, you plant it, then you produce another tree. You cut off a branch, you take somewhere, you plant it, you produce another. But every next plantation comes as a result of a branch. It's either you are cutting the branch and you are planting it somewhere, or the branch is producing a fruit, and inside the fruit is the seed that you are planting for another tree. Stand to your feet.